Hey, how's it going? It's Rui. I'd like to talk a little bit about how I prepared myself for this lifestyle change. A lifestyle of low carb, ketogenic, try to be in ketosis for the most part, and how I kind of prepare for this. First of all, let me say I'm no doctor, I'm no nutritionist, and everything that I discuss here is not advice, but basically, and occasionally it might sound like advice, but it's not really advice. It's just my experiences and what I found works for me. A lot of it is unconventional, especially if you look at the conventional advice that a doctor may give you. So I would say, discuss these things with your doctors and your nutritionists and whoever are the people who are guiding you and helping you along in your whatever journey you're in when it comes to nutrition. But in saying all that, how did I prepare for a ketogenic? I'm doing a ketovor style diet, and that may change over time. I have been watching, a lot of the people that I watch who do these kind of diets and these lifestyles, these of eating. I find that they start one way and they kind of morph into other things. It's very few people that kind of start one way and they just stick to that one particular style of diet. What I tend to see in the keto world is people start on a kind of ketogenic diet, keto diet, and they try to hit their macros of like 20 40 60, like 20 carbs, 60 fat, 40% protein, and there's a variation of it, but that's kind of generally where I see most people are at. And a lot of these people go into a straight carnivore diet, and some end up at a ketovor diet, and I've even seen some people who eventually bring back carbs in the form of like they still stick to like a philosophy of a way of eating that's not really traditional, but they'll add in like honey and berries, and they say that's the way to go with some carbs, but it's still very heavy on the carnivore or ketogenic style diet. And everybody's on a journey. Everybody's on a journey. Everybody's trying to figure out what works best for them. That's from what I can tell. So my particular journey, it may morph into something else. A couple of things that are kind of constant, and I know definitely for me it needs to be as of today, is I need to keep the carbs down. I really do need to keep the carbs down. I'm down. I am pre-diabetic. You could even say that I might be considered type 2. But I've been yo-yoing back and forth this low carb type of lifestyle that I think it's been keeping me from actually getting diagnosed as type 2. Anyways, so a couple of things that I did to prepare myself for this time around, because this is not my first rodeo. I did do this type of diet about 4.5 years ago. I went almost straight carnivore. It worked wonders for me. But a couple of things that I'm doing this time around is that electrolytes. Electrolytes is one of them. The first time I did this, I had no idea that you might need to supplement with some kind of electrolytes. And I think a month in, I got some major cramps while sleeping, a major cramp in my calves. And I've never had that before in my life. And I'm like, what is going on here, right? So then I started doing some research, and what I discovered in the advice that I saw people giving was you need more electrolytes. Potassium, magnesium, and salt. I thought I was getting plenty of salt, but the potassium and magnesium were probably the problem. So I supplemented with potassium and magnesium, and those cramps went away. They disappeared. So I know this time around that's something I'm conscious of, and I do my water always has an additive in it of potassium, salt, and magnesium. I always add those to my basically any water. Most of the water I drink has some of that in it, and I use a very popular within the keto carnivore community. I use a pretty popular one, and I really enjoy it. You can very easily there's plenty of them out there. You can just do a little research and you can figure out what that is. So that's one of the things I definitely do, just to avoid the cramping in the legs. And also, it also helps, especially at the beginning. I think at the beginning, you lose a lot of water weight at the beginning, right? And with that goes out a lot of those minerals. And I believe my transition this time around, because I was pretty heavy on carbs just a few weeks ago, so going into this was a pretty large transition for my body, a pretty dramatic transition again. And so you'll go into the inevitable keto flu. That's more than likely you're going to go through that. And if you supplement with electrolytes, at least for myself, it really seems to help that transition. I really only had like a day of I really felt like that keto flu. And after that, I still felt a little off, but pretty quickly I acclimated to this new way of being and being kind of in a ketogenic state. So yeah, so the electrolytes is big. I think that's a really big one for me, and you might want to consider it yourself. The rest of it, as far as preparing, I'm more of a like shoot by the hip kind of person, in most things in my life, and I don't want to overthink things. If I have to overthink, chances are I'm not going to sustain it. So I really try to keep it simple, and just some basic things. I think it's more of a mindset that you have to have. Right? First and foremost, you cannot beat yourself up if you fall off the wagon. If you fall off the wagon, just readjust and start over again. The old saying, it's not how many times you fall, but how many times you're willing to pick yourself up. So that's a mindset that I have now. Another mindset that I'm really trying to keep on is if I do fall off the wagon, to not binge. I found that that's been a huge problem for me. If I do fall off the wagon and I don't have the strength to fight off those cravings and whatnot, the second step is not to binge. Okay, I fell off the wagon. I had something that maybe I shouldn't be having. I'm indulging in something that I shouldn't be indulging, food wise. I know it's going to hurt me, but don't binge. Okay, I had a few. Let's say you at a party, you have a piece of pie. You fell into that temptation to have that pie. Keep it at that one slice. Keep it at that one piece. Don't go for the second, third, fourth piece. And that's big for me. And so that's the mindset I'm having. Don't binge. If you do fall off the wagon, don't binge. The other thing I'm doing is I prepared, and this has kind of been a long time coming. Is I have lots of I try to develop for myself a lot of alternatives. I'm on the road all the time. I drive a truck, and that entails this, making stops, breaks, and it's always at. Sorry, there's somebody calling, so I have to hang up on him. And anyway, that entails stopping at truck stops, stopping at rest stops, and throughout the day, and I don't really carry food with me. I don't like doing that. It's just some people do. They carry a big lunchbox, and I might do that in the future. But the alternative is, I know everywhere I go, I can grab a piece of cheese. I can grab some pepperoni. All these rest stops, truck stops, they all have that stuff. And let's say I am very hungry and I want something to eat, an actual meal. I have a very long day, 14 hours. I'm not fasting that day. I've you can go to, when you go to these places, Burger King, McDonald's, inevitably that's where I'm gonna stop, because there is nothing much else out there. And when you go into a rest stop, where are you gonna go with a big truck? You're not gonna drive into town and go to a supermarket. That chances are that's not gonna happen. But you are gonna come across a lot of rest stops. So this is my reality. So, like Burger King right now has a Swiss room burger, which is Swiss, couple of patties and some mushrooms and their royal sauce, and of course in between bread. What I do is I just remove the bread. So that's something that I can always go to a Burger King at a rest stop, and I can order that up without the bread, and I can stay within this lifestyle of eating without having a lot of carbs or anything. McDonald's, and Burger King, any of these fast food places, you can always order just like for breakfast. You can always order, or you can always just order just the sausage and the eggs, for example, and have just that with a little salt on it, maybe a little pepper, and there you go. That's a meal, So basically, I have alternatives throughout the day to turn to if I need to. Yeah, and I think that's basically it. So electrolytes, a mindset of picking yourself up if you do fall, don't binge, and alternatives when you're out there, when you're out and about, that you can grab if the cravings get too strong, you really are that hungry, you just need to get something. And that's kind of what I'm doing, and let's see what it morphs into. Like I said, I'm kind of a shoot by the hip kind of person, so a lot of things can change. I might adjust, I might go straight carnivore in the future if I feel the need for that. And this is all a process. This whole thing is a process, and you have to let the process work. You have to know that there's gonna be valleys. There's gonna be times you're gonna ruin it. This channel, it really ruins it. You're gonna see me messing up all the time, and I'm gonna have to put it on the video because I gotta be straight, right? I gotta be straight with you guys. But in this process, it's steps, it's baby steps, and you have to be conscious of that. You may not slay this the first time around, and don't worry, you don't have to slay it the first time around. You don't have to be perfect. I remember when I don't drink soda anymore. I haven't drank soda pop for years now. And I remember when I first decided to stop drinking soda, it's got to be good 10-15 years that I really haven't been a soda drinker. But I remember at the beginning I used to drink a lot of soda, like most people, Coca-Cola, you name it, ginger ale, Fanta, all that stuff. I used to drink a lot of it all the time, every meal. And I remember when I decided to cut that out, and it was very, very difficult, and at the beginning I would crave it, and occasionally I'd have a little bit, and I went from, okay, let me just have like maybe once a day, and it was a process for me over time. It then eventually got to the point where another call, I had to hang up on them. And it's my buddies at night. I work at night, and I have a bunch of buddies that I talk to overnight, and as we're driving these long drives, it really helps. It's great. It's great to have a good little group of people that you can call. You're driving 2-3 hours at a time, and you can just talk about things, and so it's a really good outlet throughout the night. It helps the time go by and all kinds. But anyways, so the soda pop, over time, I lost the cravings for it. Where today, I don't even think about soda pop anymore. It's not even a thing. I don't have to at all. While you're going through it, you think, I'll never be able to get away from these cravings. This is gonna haunt me forever, and it's not. If you hang on to it, if you Cause if you okay, the soda. When I was doing that, got away from soda. Occasionally, I would have some soda, and I'd fall back into it. But then, no, I can't be drinking this soda. The soda, I definitely know is not good for me. And over time, it got easier and easier. And today, I don't drink soda anymore. So it may be that I'm doing the ketovor style, right? And it may be that I need to go complete carnivore and to really see the results that I want to see. But it's gonna take time for me to get to that, from here to there. There are people out there that can just cold turkey it, and God bless you, you know. And it's, that might be the best way to do it. You know, I may be going through this process and struggling when I could just maybe cold turkey and within a week or two be all set. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to go through the process and maybe suffer through it. And maybe I might just stay ketovor forever. This might be the best option for me. Everybody's a little bit different. You know, this might work the best for me. And like I said, we're all on a journey, and you got to find your place in this journey. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and follow me on this journey of mine. Good night.